Where would you then say artificial sweeteners come into play, and kind of what is your thoughts on those in the diet?
Yeah, I think that they actually have pretty much no role to play. Now, the thing is that, yeah, I get all kinds of flack from people who really like these artificial sweeteners, right? So the calorie people, they love them. Again, look at the bottom line of, the problem with a lot of nutritional research is nobody seems to use a lot of logic. So if artificial sweeteners were really great and they really worked, then we wouldn't have an obesity crisis, would we? It's not like nobody's heard of Diet Coke, right? Everybody's heard of Diet Coke. Everybody drinks Diet Coke. It's very popular. It doesn't work because nobody loses weight drinking a lot of Diet Coke, right? So yes, you can cut the calories from the soda down, but you can't treat the obesity. So if it doesn't work, it means that those artificial sweeteners are not taking care of the problem. And the problem is that in some people, the insulin goes up just as high with a lot of studies were done on aspartame, but it goes up just as high with the aspartame as it does with the sugar. And that's why what you see is that there's no overall benefit. Now, I think that in some people, they don't have that problem. And stevia, people ask me about stevia all the time. The studies are not all there with stevia. In some people, it appears to do the same. But again, if you think about it, it's very easy to tell whether or not this is going to work for you. Use the artificial sweeteners. If you start losing a lot of weight, hey, great, go ahead and use it. Like, do you know how many people, like what percentage that's going to work in? Like, I don't know, 0.5%, right? Everybody's done that already. So if you think it's going to work for you, go ahead, do it, right? But I doubt very much that it is going to work. Otherwise, we wouldn't have to talk about all this stuff. We just stick stevia in everything we eat, and we'd be fine. And it was the same idea. I don't know if you ever had that fake fat, olestra. So in the United States, about, I don't know, about 10 years ago, there was this fake fat. So it was the same idea as artificial sweeteners. So instead of using real fat, you use this fake fat. The body can't absorb it. It goes right through you, and then you don't absorb it, so there's no calories, right? It didn't work at all, right? It turned out to be one of the 10 worst ideas ever, like by Time magazine. It was quite funny, actually. But people didn't buy it. People didn't lose, and it was because they didn't lose weight, right? So again, you've got fake fat, you've got fake sugar. So really, if it was all about, using these artificial chemicals to trick our bodies, yeah, we would have solved this thing like ages ago, right? But the thing is that it hasn't worked. I mean, aspartame's been around since the 70s, right? And it doesn't really help at all. So therefore, it must not have any overall benefits. And again, it's because it raises insulin just to the same level, right?
And what about xylitol? Sorry.
Xylitol is harder to know. The studies really just aren't there. Like the difference is that you use very little of the xylitol compared to like some of the chemicals. So I tried looking at some studies, but I really don't see any studies of whether or not it works or not. I think the key is to, if you are going to use it, just to use a little bit of it, just as you need it. But the key is, I don't really know whether or not that's going to be good or not. It doesn't have any calories, but whether or not it stimulates insulin or not is really the question. Because again, it's not calories that drives obesity; it's the insulin which drives obesity. So the xylitol, I don't know. I don't really know. There's a lot of stuff used. Like if you look at studies of like gum, like there's a lot of chewing gum uses these sugar alcohols, but the amount is very small, so it's hard to know. Right? It's like tiny microscopic.